So a lot of people these days especially are either getting into or getting back into sports like running, and that inevitably means picking out running shoes. So I thought it would be good to go into what is actually the process for picking out a running shoe, more so than just going into the store and saying, I'm looking for a running shoe. It can be really helpful to be equipped with knowing some of the properties or traits of different shoes and different things that go into them to help make sure that you're equipping yourself with the most suitable shoe for you, because that is the biggest equipment choice you're going to make. To begin with, it's helpful to define, what am I doing with the shoe? Am I doing short distances or long or very long distances? Are there issues I've had to mitigate in the past, like stress fractures, bone spurs, or pain or overstress in different parts of my foot? And even what am I running on? Am I running on roads? Am I running on trails? Now, to that last one, broadly speaking, a road shoe is going to be a very smooth soled surface, and it's designed for thousands of repeated impacts on a smooth, uniform surface like asphalt or tarmac. A trail shoe will have more directional tread, and that's to help you if you're running uphill or downhill on dirt that doesn't have much traction. And it's got a lot of impact protection on the bottom if you're hitting rocks or tree roots, which also makes it not very comfortable for running on tarmac. So in this regard, not very interchangeable. Some primary traits of different shoes are how much cushioning they have and also how much drop they have. So cushioning literally refers to how much foam is between the ground and your foot. More cushioning is suitable for somebody who might have a higher arch or a stiffer foot, or if you have had things like bone spurs or bony abnormality or stress fractures where impact shock is the biggest issue for you, then you're going to want to lean more towards something like this. A shoe with less cushioning is quite literally just has less foam between the ground and your foot. Now, hand in hand with that is also drop, which refers to is the heel higher than the toe. In this case, it's not quite a zero drop shoe, but it's close, it's pretty flat. This one, the heel is quite a bit higher than the toe. A shoe with less drop will be good if you're somebody who lands more in the middle or near the front of your foot when you run. A shoe with more drop, so a higher heel, will be good for somebody who lands more on your heel when you run. Now, one trade-off here is if you have too much drop, think of a high-heeled shoe as the extreme of this, it's going to affect your hips and your back. So just something to be cognizant of feeling out when you're trying different types of shoes. Additionally, you'll want to look at what is the sole of the shoe as far as its width and the edge here relative to your foot. So a sole that's a lot wider than your foot or has a very sharp edge on the back, this one's actually kind of rounded, will slam your foot to the ground a little more abruptly, which can just add some stresses and is not something I would ever look for more of if you don't need to. A shoe with a more rounded back end, like this one fortunately has, will let your foot kind of roll, especially if you have a tendency to land on your heel. Now, one of the big sets of terms you hear thrown around is the support type, and you might hear a motion control shoe or a stability shoe. You know, I'm an overpronator, or I don't pronate very much. That all gets kind of wrapped in together. We've done a separate video going into a lot more detail on this because there is a lot more to go into. But broadly speaking, you have three types: a cushion shoe, a motion control shoe, or a stability/neutral shoe. Basically, a cushion shoe prioritizes cushioning. A motion control shoe tries to very closely dictate how your foot behaves and lands on the ground, and can be good for somebody whose problems do stem from overpronating. And a stability or a neutral shoe just doesn't either one of those. One note, when you're trying shoes on for the first time, be very picky. If your foot doesn't fall in love with it at first trial, move on to something else. Running shoes don't need to be broken in, they should just be good. Hopefully this little overview gives you a little bit more to go in with when you are next selecting running shoes, as far as being able to direct yourself towards something that best meets your needs. If you have questions, again, please feel free to reach out. We love talking about this stuff with people, and we'd be more than happy to help you out as well.